How do you mean? I'm different.
I mean, you got a man. At least you stick to him.
He's not my man.
Well, you're with him, ain't you?
Not like you mean.
All right,
The raw and savage experience of a wild, primitive beauty at the mercy of desperate men. They gambled their lives for what each man desired most.
My most rewatchable 1950 to 1954 westerns. Okay, this is a bit of a self-indulgent video. Once is not enough. I've put together a list of my most rewatchable westerns from 1950 to 1954. There were hundreds of westerns made during this period, so it wasn't easy. I don't expect you all to agree, as I'm sure you have your own list. Let me know what westerns you like to rewatch in the comments. If you like this video, please like, share or subscribe. You can check out my many other videos on my channel. The link is in the description. Let's get into it. Broken Arrow, 1950. A very watchable western that also has a message. Who doesn't like any movie James Stewart is in? A revisionist western directed by Delmer Daves, starring James Stewart, Jeff Chandler and Deborah Paget. Based on historical figures, but fictionalizes their story in a dramatic form. Nominated for 3 Academy Awards and won a Golden Globe for Best Film promoting international understanding. Film historians have said that the film is one of the first major westerns since the Second World War to portray Native Americans sympathetically. The Gunfighter, 1950. I will watch anything with Gregory Peck. A western directed by Henry King, starring Gregory Peck, Helen Westcott, Millard Mitchell, and Carl Malden. It was written by screenwriters William Bowers and William Sellers. The film was the second of King's 6 collaborations with Peck. Nominated for Best Motion Picture Story for William Bowers and André Dutot during the 23rd Academy Awards.
Trying to keep from getting killed.
Rio Grande, 1950. A romantic western directed by John Ford, starring John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara. The third installment of Ford's Cavalry trilogy. The others are Fort Apache, 1948, and She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, 1949. Wayne is the lead in all 3 films, as Captain Kirby York in Fort Apache, then as Captain Nathan Brittles in She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, and finally as a promoted lieutenant, Colonel Kirby York in Rio Grande. Rio Grande's supporting cast features Ben Johnson, Claude Jarman Jr., Harry Carey Jr., Chill Wills, J. Carroll Naish, Victor McLaughlin, Grant Withers, the Western singing group The Sons of the Pioneers, and Stan Jones. Just a great western.
I waited a long time for that order, sir.
Ramrod, wreckage and ruin. Still the same curve.
Jeff must learn that a man's word to anything, even his own destruction, must be honored.
Wagon Master, 1950. Another western produced and directed by John Ford, starring Ben Johnson, Harry Carey Jr., Joanne Drew, and Ward Bond. The story follows a Mormon pioneer wagon train across dangerous desert to the San Juan River in Utah. This film inspired the television series Wagon Train, 1957 to 1965, which starred Bond until his death in 1960. A personal favorite of Ford himself, who told Peter Bogdanovich in 1967 that along with The Fugitive and The Sun Shines Bright, Wagon Master came closest to being what I wanted to achieve.
A man could make an awful night.
Give them what they need and let's get on.
I don't believe these people are up to traveling alone.
Well, they will be when they're sober.
Well, we reached the California Trail in 2 or 3 days.
Don't think we ought to take up with their kind of people, Elder.
I'm not leaving them now, and that's flat.
What are you figuring on asking from?
Oh, $50 a head.
$50 a head? Well, I'll be dead blasted on that. All bears paws on them. $50 a head. Why, that's enough to make the Lord himself.
Winchester 73, 1950. A Western film noir directed by Anthony Mann, starring James Stewart, Shelley Winters, Dan Duryea, and Stephen McNally. Set in 1876 in a variety of Western locations, and follows the journey of a prized rifle from one ill-fated owner to another, as well as a man's search for a murderous fugitive. The first Western collaboration between Mann and Stewart. The first of 8 films that were made together, filmed in black and white. Also the first film from which an actor received a percentage of the receipts, a practice known as points, as compensation.
Shelley Winters, trigger sharp and dangerous in her own way. Dan Duryea as vicious Waco Johnny Dean, who killed to get the gun. Stephen McNally, brutal, deadly, who wanted the rifle to slaughter men.
Sound like an Indian trader, but with all that smoke on the hills and you with no gun. Why don't you
The man's right. Give him a gun.
Supposing I don't tell you. Then what?
Where is he? Where is he?
Just in case you...
I know how to use it. I understand about the last one.
Hondo, 1953. One of the best entrances in a Western. A Western directed by John Farrow, starring John Wayne and Geraldine Page. Based on the 1952 Collier's short story, The Gift of Cochise, by Louis L'Amour. The supporting cast features Ward Bond, James Arness, and Leo Gordon. The shoot went over schedule, and Farrow had to leave the production as he was contractually obligated to direct another movie. The final scenes, featuring the Apache attack on the circled wagons of the Army and settlers, were shot by John Ford, whom Wayne had asked to finish the film. Ford was uncredited for his work.
Co-starring Gunsmoke's James Arness, Wayne's longtime friend Ward Bond, and Lassie. And now, from a digitally remastered negative with Dolby stereo sound, Hondo is thundering into home video with John Wayne as you like him best. Independent. Tough. Taking charge. So get...
The Naked Spur, 1953. The character dynamics in this one is electric. A Western directed by Anthony Mann, starring James Stewart, Janet Leigh, Robert Ryan, Ralph Meeker, and Millard Mitchell. Written by Sam Rolfe and Harold Jack Bloom. The film is about a bounty hunter who tries to bring a murderer to justice and is forced to accept the help of 2 strangers who are less than trustworthy. The original music score was composed by Bronislaw Kappa, and the cinematography was by William C. Mellor. Filmed on location in Durango and the San Juan Mountains in Colorado, and in Lone Pine, California.
He'll look and think, and then he'll reach out and take. And the way things are, who's to stop?
What do you mean? I'm different.
I mean, you got a man. At least you stick to him.
He's not my man.
Well, you're with him, ain't you?
Not like you mean.
All right, forget
The raw and savage experience of a wild, primitive beauty at the mercy of desperate men. They gambled their lives for what each man desired most. James Stewart, willing to pay any price to create a future that will hide his past. Janet Leigh, willing to defy any man strong enough to win her. Robert Ryan, willing to make any deal to win a woman and escape the law.
Chance at what? To kill us all? All right, if that's what you want, I'll give him a chance. There. Now, cut him loose. Cut him loose!
Shane, 1953, a western starring Alan Ladd, Jean Arthur, and Van Heflin, noted for its landscape cinematography, editing, performances, and contributions to the genre. Produced and directed by George Stevens from a screenplay by A.B. Guthrie Jr., based on the 1949 novel of the same name by Jack Schaefer. Its Oscar-winning cinematography was by Loyal Griggs. The last feature film and the only colour film of Arthur's career. It also starred Brandon DeWilde, Jack Palance, Emil Meyer, Alicia Cook Jr., Edgar Buchanan, and Ben Johnson.
It's great human story. It's deadly conflict.
I've heard about you.
What have you heard, Shane?
I've heard that you're a low-down Yankee liar.
Broken Lance, 1954, a western directed by Edward Dmytryk, starring Spencer Tracy, Robert Wagner, Gene Peters, Richard Widmark, and Cathy Jurado. A remake of House of Strangers with the Philip Yordan screenplay, based on the novel I'll Never Go There Anymore by Jerome Whiteman, transplanted out west, featuring Tracy in the original Edward G. Robinson role, this time as a cowboy cattle baron rather than an Italian banker in New York City. It has been widely noted that the story bears a strong resemblance to King Lear.
Richard Widmark as the fierce firstborn son, first to scheme, first to...
Did you ever ask me how I'd like an Indian stepmother after Ma died? So it's just a little late for ask.
Cathy Jurado of High Noon fame as the beautiful Indian stepmother. All the primitive of an amazing pioneer family, blazing into hitherto untold fury.
You're 6 years old and you're governor of the state.
And who made you the governor of the state?
Here is the ruthless violence and massive destruction that carved the cattle and mining domains out of the flaming West. Brought to the screen through the miracle of CinemaScope and the wonder of stereophonic sound in Broken Lance.
Vera Cruz, 1954, a western directed by Robert Eldridge, starring Gary Cooper and Burt Lancaster, featuring Denise Darcel, Sarah Montiel, Cesar Romero, Ernest Borgnine, Charles Bronson, and Jack Elam. Set during the Franco-Mexican War, the film centers on a group of American mercenaries tasked with transporting a large shipment of imperial gold to the port of Vera Cruz, but begin to have second thoughts about their allegiances.
Producing an exciting new screen discovery, Sarita Montiel, temptress and tease, who entices Gary Cooper into her web of intrigue. Screen entertainment.
Each one of those 6 boxes contains $500,000 in gold.
How do we know we can trust you?
How do I know I can trust you?
Countess?
Did you enjoy the video? Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate your likes, shares, and subscribers. Hit the notification button to get my new videos. Take a look at my channel and check out my Facebook page. And follow. The links are in the description. I am Wrangler. Bye for now. See you again soon.
Interesting facts about famous people.